So I am Deborah Baska and the founder of Team Dare to Dream, and Jen Arias is the founder of Determination Nation. And we are so glad to be able to present our special speaker tonight, Josh Coates. And Josh was introduced to me from my friend Anna Gray and Sarah Try and probably numerous other coaches that have spoken your name. It came up a lot, but I'm really excited because Josh is a member of the John C. Maxwell team and founder of the Legacy Leadership. So he works one-on-one with 20 different Beachbody coaches, including 3 from the top 30. He also runs training groups for 70 plus each month to help Beachbody coaches move their businesses forward. And he speaks regularly for team calls like ours and Super Saturdays. And he specializes in leadership development and personal development and relating it to Beachbody coaches in their business. So how amazingly cool is that? We have a John C. Maxwell trained guy that knows our business. So taking all of that personal development and applying it exactly the way we need it is what really excites me about this. So Josh is going to talk. He has lots of topics that he could talk about, but one that really excited me was the topic of team mission. So without further ado, I'm going to unmute Josh so that I'm going to keep everyone else muted. So Josh, you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
You bet.
Awesome. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate it. Does your Zoom account have a time limit on it?
It does not.
Okay, good. Every once in a while I run into that, so I try to ask because whatever the I think the non-paid one is like 30 minutes, and that just never happens with me. So hopefully you guys can hang with me. I've been told statistically that everyone has about a minute attention span for every year that they are. So technically I have 32 minutes, but I like to think that if I can make you laugh 5 or 6 times specifically at me, that I can get you to hang out even a little bit longer than that. So thank you guys so much for hopping on the call tonight. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Jennifer, for allowing me to speak to your teams. I appreciate it so much. As Deborah said, I work with tons of Beachbody coaches. In fact, that's honestly about all I work with. I've had other people outside of Beachbody that have wanted to work with me, wanted to be mentored by me. And honestly, I was just like, I have so much fun with Beachbody people, and I've learned the business so well that I don't really want to work with other people. And one of the reasons for that is I've done the Beachbody programs for like 5 years. I started off with P90X. I was the bad guy that had the burned copies of DVDs that somebody gave me. I have bought many programs since, but I use Shakeology. My wife, Shakeology like saved her life. She used to have some hypothyroidism issues. I'll get into that a little bit later in what I talk about, but I strongly believe in the mission of Beachbody, in helping people, not just with their health, but the third vital behavior is personal development. Beachbody really does believe in helping people from the inside out. And that's what I'm all about. I believe that I always say that our outward success is an expression of our inward growth. Nothing ever happens on the outside without first happening on the inside. And that's why personal development is so valuable. And that's why your health is so valuable. Because your health journey is literally an inward transformation as much as it is an outward transformation. How many of you noticed that? From your health journey, you've grown in character, you've grown in confidence, you've grown in all these other areas that are on the inside that really have nothing to do with the way you look, but it all changes together. So I started working with Beachbody coaches March, April, May, June, probably around like last May or June. My first client was Brittany Powers, who just hit top 10 this last year, which was really, really awesome. Was so proud of her. And so basically for the last 8 to 9 months, it's been just Beachbody coaches learning the business. Because my clients are coaches, a lot of times they like to throw me in their team pages so that I can kind of give them feedback on what's going on, what happens with their team, the things that they do. And something that I noticed over several months, I'm kind of like always on the outside looking in and observing the way people do things in their business. And I'm always looking for the missing pieces. In other words, anytime something is passed on from one person to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, a lot of times there are a few pieces that are missing with one person. And then so many times as human beings, we don't stop and think about the process. And so we keep passing things down, 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 and nobody ever stops to realize there was something missing. On the outside, it's really easy for me to see what's missing because I'm not in the pages emotionally attached to what's happening. And I'm not being told by a mentor, this is how to run business. And so I literally just have an open mind. I get to watch from a distance. And one of the things that I noticed over several months was that the thing that I think is probably the most important part of business was being heavily overlooked in almost every single team page. And that is vision or mission. You'll hear me kind of like interchange those words a little bit tonight, and I'll get into more explanation as we go. But most coaches that have big teams have some type of mission statement. In other words, a mission statement is like what you're about. Like, this is what I believe in. This is what I'm trying to do. This is the difference I want to make in the world. And the thing with a mission is it has the ability to bring together lots of different people from different backgrounds, from different places with different journeys, and join them together as one team. But unfortunately, I have noticed that almost no one actually takes advantage of putting their mission out there for people to grab onto. Now, we talk a lot about numbers. We talk a lot about rank advancements. We talk a lot, about our personal volume, success club, and none of these things are bad. Okay, we shouldn't stop talking about these things because all of these things are good. There's nothing wrong with numbers. I love numbers. How many of you know if you don't have any numbers in your bank account, life is very, very difficult, right? I have absolutely no problem with numbers. But here's the thing. If we get so focused on numbers that we forget about the mission, what happens is sometimes we get burned out. Sometimes we burn others out. Sometimes we start doing this thing. How many of you ever used the word salesy? It's not a word that exists anywhere outside of Beachbody. It's something that Beachbody coaches made up so that they would have an excuse to not start conversations with people because they're scared to sound salesy. But when you're too numbers driven and not mission driven, sometimes you do become salesy. Sometimes you become pushy. Sometimes you're looking for people to help you instead of looking for people that you can help. So to make this picture a little bit more clear, I want you to pretend that we're all right here on this team call. We are all a part of this special operations force for the Army, okay? And there are 20 prisoners overseas that we are sent to go rescue, okay? And we go over there. I'm not going to name any countries. I don't want to make anyone sound like a bad guy, whatever. Let's just pretend we're in some other foreign country that it's our enemy, okay? And we're like crawling through the bushes in the middle of the night. And we got our faces painted black and we're wearing, the black camo and all of that. And we've got 20 prisoners that we're trying to save, okay? And in the middle of this, we all stop and we're like, now what was the mission? What were we supposed to be doing? And we stop and we think about it. And we're like, hold on. I remember I wrote it down on a notepad and I got it in my backpack. Give me a minute. I'll pull out my backpack. I'll get the notepad out and I'll remind you guys what the mission is. Now, if we only know the mission by being wrote on a notepad in our backpack, how many of you know we are screwed? There is no way in the world we are prepared to go in and rescue from an enemy base some people that have been captured and saved their lives, right? If people's lives are depending on us and we got the mission wrote down on a notepad somewhere in our backpack, we might as well just go home, right? We're all going to die. Let me give you another scenario. We show up, we get to the enemy, we get to the prison, and we go, you know what? This place looks really dangerous. I bet we could make this a little bit easier. Let's just blow the place up. And so we blow the place up. And then we come home, we go to, our commanding officer, and he's like, hey, how'd the mission go? We're like, it went great. We blew the whole enemy camp up. It was incredible. You should have saw the flames. It was just, it was incredible. And he goes, now where are the 20 people that I sent you to save? Well, don't worry about that, okay? We knew that there was an enemy there. It was going to be a little bit too difficult to try to break in there, and we knew that we'd be putting ourselves at risk if we tried to go in there. So we decided to at least just blow the whole place up and at least destroy the enemy. Once again, we failed, right? What if we went all the way there, we got inside, and there were 5 people that were in a barrack right next to the entrance? And we get those 5 people and they say, here's the deal. The other 15 people, they're on a completely different level. It's really hard to get to. I think we can do it, but it's going to be really challenging. And so we say, you know what? I don't really want to risk my life today. We got 5 of you. I think that's good enough. Let's go ahead and get out of here. And we get back and we tell the commanding officer, once again, where's everybody at? Well, we got these 5, but the other 15, that was a little too challenging. We may have lost a few lives trying to save those 15. Once again, we failed. We did not carry out the full mission. The only way we carry out the full mission is if we go in, we get all 20 prisoners, and we bring all 20 prisoners home. Is somebody going to get killed in the process? Maybe, but that's what a rescue mission is. Is somebody going to get hurt? Is somebody going to get injured? Is it going to be scary? Is it going to be crazy? Yes, 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 all of the above. But that's the mission that you're on, was to save those people. When we focus too much on numbers and lose sight of the mission, sometimes we blow the whole place up. In other words, we go on Facebook, we go on Instagram, and we message 1 million people, and maybe, 20 of them sign up, and then we never even take the time to follow up, send them a welcome email, never even take the time to get them put in a challenge group, never even take the time to find out what their goals are. Why? Because we're on to blow up the next place, right? That's not good. We can't blow people up. That's not good for them, okay? So here's the thing. Once again, it's never, ever, ever about numbers or the mission, okay? To think that there is an or is to have a scarcity mindset. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of Grant Cardone, who wrote the 10X Rule, one of the greatest books on the planet. He says anytime you use the word or, you have a scarcity mindset. Don't think I can be a good mom or dad or a successful business person. Why would you ever say or? Why can't you be a good mom or a good parent and a successful business person? How many of you learned from your health journey that you don't have to choose between being a good parent or being healthy, right? You can do both. And in fact, if you choose both, they actually feed off of each other. Becoming more healthy actually helps you to be a better parent because you have more energy, you have more strength, you can be there. And being a better parent should help give you motivation to want to be healthier. They work together. It's never one or the other, okay? So I'm not here to discourage numbers. This is what I personally believe. I believe that everyone should set huge goals. You should push for numbers bigger than anything you've ever dreamed of, bigger than anything that you have ever imagined. And then you should use your mission as the rules that you play by to hit those numbers. You see, sometimes, and I'm going to go into some personality types because I think this is really, really important. I break it down. I have a YouTube video if you want to watch it. I'm gonna just give you like a short version of it. There's so many personality tests out there, and I hate them all because they're so confusing and so hard to remember, okay? I'm a little like scatterbrained. I'm not going to memorize 4 or 5 different types of stones that everyone belongs to or a letter. So I learned this at a seminar I don't know, like 6 years ago at my day job. I always say it's the only good thing I took away from my day job. And he breaks it down into animals, okay? Sometimes I'm stupid. Animals make it easy for me, okay? So number one, we have rhinos. Rhinos are just full force on. Their motto is join me or get out of my way. A rhino has a very strong personality. They're usually pretty bold. They're not known for being very emotional or sensitive. It's just like, here's the deal. I got goals and I'm going to go crush them. I mean, if you want to come with me, that's fine. But if you don't, I don't really care. I'm not offended by it. I'm just going to go do it. That's a rhino. Okay. Then we've got peacocks. Peacocks love the spotlight. They love attention. They love to change their hair color every 2 days. They love to, I say that their motto is this: party now, plan later. And by later, they really mean never. Life is just a big party full of fun and games. They have trouble focusing on one thing because there's always something fun and new to do. I've got quite a bit of peacock in me. I'm a very just outgoing, that's why I'm a public speaker, because I love the spotlight, okay? The next thing we have is a golden retriever. Golden retriever, very loyal, very faithful. You never, ever, ever have to worry about this person sending you a text message and being like, we are never friends again. I hate your guts. A golden retriever is loyal and faithful. They'll be your friend forever, but they don't really like spotlight. They don't like attention. They like to be a part of the community, but they don't want to be the person making the decision or kind of leading out front. They like to kind of hang like they like to be the behind the scenes kind of person. Okay. Then you have the owl. The owl is the exact opposite of the peacock. Owls love spreadsheets. They love organizing things. Like their favorite thing to do is like organize like a room. Whereas me, I'm like, I did it. It's somewhere over here. I can find it. If you try to clean it up, I'm going to lose where everything's at because I kind of know exactly where it's at based on where it's at in my mess. Whereas owls are like, no, 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 no. Everything's got to be color coordinated. Everything's got to go from smallest to biggest. And they've got a little OCD on them. They usually make incredible engineers, incredible personal assistants, incredible accountants. Okay. Their motto is the opposite of the peacock. They say, plan now, party later. And by later, they mean never. Okay? So now that you understand, hopefully most of you just realize which animal you are. It's usually, a lot of people are a combination of a few. I am probably like 70% peacock and 30% rhino. Okay? Everyone's got a little bit of a few things, but most people have one that they're predominantly. Okay, so here's the thing. From what I found, and I'm not saying this is an exact statistic, okay, this is just based on the training groups I've ran, the people I've talked to a lot of Beachbody coaches. This is just my opinion, okay? About 10 to 15% of the company is rhinos, and about 80% of the company is golden retrievers. Now, there are definitely some peacocks in the business as well, definitely some owls as well, but most of the owls have a pretty decent amount of golden retriever in them as well. Most, and I don't want to say all, because it's definitely not all. No one's discounted ever, okay? But most of the successful people in this business are rhinos, because rhinos don't ask questions. They don't get emotional about what they have to do or where they just literally go do it. They listen to the national wake-up call on Monday morning. Someone says, I talk to 50 people a day. They say, okay, I need to talk to 50 people every day, right? And they just go make it happen. That's not to say that other animals can't be successful. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. But because most of the successful people are rhinos, most of the communication that happens within the entire company is about what? Numbers, competition, rank advancements. Why? Because that's what rhinos love. Rhinos thrive on these things. In fact, I have a client during, this is Team Cup going on right now, right? So it was during Fall Classic. And one of the prizes was like this jacket. And she was like, my team is like, 2 points away from getting the top tier where we're going to get the jackets. She's like, we're going to make it. This is the last day, but I'm going to make it happen. She's like, honestly, I could probably go buy the jacket, but I don't care. I just want to win it. And that's how rhinos are. Like, put a headband out for me. I'll find a way to win it. Like, I just love to win. Right. And so we set up all these numbers, contests and goals and things. And once again, I'm not against numbers. Okay. But here's the problem. If we don't balance it out with the mission, we leave golden retrievers behind left and right. And here's why. Because golden retrievers, they hate numbers and they hate competitions. They signed up for community and purpose. They love, love, love the community. They love to feel like they're a part of the team. They love to feel like they are helping make a difference in the world. That's not to say that rhinos don't also enjoy purpose. It's just not their language, if that makes sense. And so I want to go through two different things here, okay, to help you guys all kind of round out your weaknesses. If you are a rhino, you have got to learn to talk more about the mission and the purpose. And use the mission and the purpose to motivate people to hit numbers. In other words, instead of saying, I would love for everyone to hit SC5 this month, we could say, let's work together and each person see if you can change 3 lives this month. Can you imagine what you could do if you could help 3 lives this month? Imagine the ripple effect that that's going to have on their marriage, on their family, on their church, their community. If you could help change 3 lives, I mean, we can change the world just 1 life at a time. Hear how much meaning and purpose that had behind it instead of, okay, who's going to hit SC5 this month? Now, once again, I'm not trying to keep anyone from hitting SC5 because I 100% agree that hitting Success Club is the foundation of building a healthy business. But it's got to be about more than just the number. It's, in other words, rhinos are really good at the what, but they don't always give the why. And we've got to get better about telling people what they need to do, but why? Why do you need to do this? Because it's going to make a difference in other people's lives. It's going to help you to build a solid business, and that's going to help you to change your family's life. How many people on here say, Josh, life would be so much easier, so much better. I could help my family so much more. I could help the community so much more if I had more money. Raise your hand. You see, money serves a purpose. It's neither good or bad. It's simply a tool, right? If you have tools, you can build things. If you don't have tools, it takes a lot longer to build stuff. Like, I mean, you can use your hands and play with like dirt and clay, but like it takes a really long time, right? And so we want to show people the why. This is why we want to help people. This is why we want to hit Success Club. This is why I need you to rank advance. Because every time you rank advance, that represents other people that you're helping. If you're not rank advancing, I hate to say this, but you're not really helping anybody. So let's get to the other balance of it, okay? I hit you rhinos pretty hard, and I apologize. You still love me, right? Yeah, okay, kinda. So let's go to the golden retrievers. Because here's what the golden retrievers say. The golden retrievers say, I don't want to hit numbers because that's not genuine. I need to be me, and I need to be genuine, and I just want to help people. Okay? Now, you've almost got the right idea. But here's the thing. If you shy away from numbers to be genuine and authentic, by the way, those are my 2 least favorite words on the planet, what you are doing is you are the group that went in, found 5 people that were very easy to help, escaped with them, and left 15 people behind to die. but you were being genuine and authentic. Well, you genuinely just allowed people to die. You authentically left people behind. I want you to think about this for a second. I love to tell my wife's story because I think it's amazing. And I think all of you have a story just as special. I bet I could unmute every single one of you, and you have an incredible story of how Beachbody has changed your life. So my wife has hypothyroidism for probably for 3 years. She didn't even know what it was. She had no idea. Was just tired all the time, exhausted all the time. To be honest, there were many times when I lost a lot of respect for her because I didn't know she had a medical problem. And I would just honestly sometimes thought she was being lazy, which I know is horrible, but I'm just being honest. Okay. She started working out. She knew that she needed to get healthy. Her mom passed away of cancer when she was 18 years old. So her mom never saw her graduate high school, never saw her get married, never saw any of our kids born because of health reasons. And so she finally said to herself, you know what? Like, I need to do something. I don't want to end up in my mom's shoes. I'm not going to let that happen to my kids. So the first thing she got a hold of was some Jillian Michaels workouts. She started doing that, started listening to podcasts, started learning how to eat clean. Here's the thing. She was losing weight, but none of those things were necessarily helping her hypothyroidism. And so this is what my wife was doing is she would work out. It would be like a 45-minute workout. And then she would be so tired and so exhausted. She would literally have to go lay in bed for the rest of the day. Got to the point where our kids started asking, why is mommy always sick? How come mommy can never play with us? How come mommy can never hang out with us? For 2 or 3 years, she went through this. And man, I had huge respect for her because we both knew the only way she could ever change this was to at least take care of her health. Maybe that meant she was going to be out of the picture for 3 or 4 years. But if she could get her health right, then she could be in the picture for the rest of their lives, right? Well, then she started doing her research because she is an owl. She researches like crazy. And she started looking up all the different things that could potentially help her. In her research, she found that Shakeology was the most legit, most clean, whole food thing that was out there. Thought that maybe it could help her. We had no money. We were broke as a joke. My day job, we were a single income family. It made like okay money, but not okay money for people with 3 kids that only had 1 income. We had no extra money. She couldn't get herself to buy a challenge pack, even though she really wanted to. But thankfully, a girl at my work bought a challenge pack. 3 days later, decided she didn't want to use it, gave me a whole bag of Shakeology and Pio. Took it home to my wife. My wife starts drinking half a scoop of Shako a day so that it would last. That way, because we knew we weren't going to have any money to actually buy it ourselves till tax return, and that was a few months away. So she started drinking half a scoop a day. A month later, my wife was working out every day, cleaning out the garage, taking the kids to the park. Literally, her life was saved. I had my wife back. The kids had their mom back. Now my kids get to grow up with a mom that's around. Why? Because of a bag of Shakeology. 1 month of half a scoop a day changed our lives forever. Now, let me ask you this, and I know I'm talking to a lot of you because according to my statistics, 80% of you are golden retrievers or at least have quite a bit of golden retriever in you. Let me ask you this. How many people around the country, in Canada, United States and Canada, I know we do all of North America, right now, as we speak at 8:32 Central Standard Time, are on the couch, are depressed, are overweight, have lost their confidence, have lost their identity? How many moms lost their identity taking care of everyone else, right? Like my wife had to quit your job, had to put everything aside to stay home with the kids, lost their identity. How many people, as we speak, are considering taking their lives? I know that sounds dramatic, but I swear it's happening. How many people are this close to a divorce, not because of anything that's like really wrong other than just what's going on inside of them? I'm not saying that divorce can't happen for other reasons, but I'm saying that there are a lot of people right now that are on the brink of divorce just because they've literally lost themselves and they don't even know what to do. How many people right now, as we speak, have been struggling, have been praying for an answer, have been begging for an answer, and as we speak, they're sitting on the couch. They are friends with us on Facebook or Instagram, and we're too scared to message them because they might think we're salesy. They might reject us. They might ignore us. They may not like what we have to say. We're literally leaving them behind in the prison to die because we thought it was going to take too much effort to help. Because you don't want to push for numbers because that's not genuine or authentic. Do you hear where I'm coming from, guys? If you want to be genuine and authentic, send a message to every freaking person on the planet because there's a good chance they need it. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard stories of people that I work with that message people time after time again. You got the follow-up system. Come on, my clients have some great systems, okay? You got those follow-ups, and after the fourth follow-up, they finally get a message back that says something like this. Thank you so much for not forgetting about me. My life has been crazy. It's been hectic. It's been all over the place. When you first messaged me, I wasn't ready. I had other stuff going on, but thank you so much. I need this so bad, and I'm ready to sign up. That happens 1,000 times more often than this. Why are you messaging me? Can you just leave me alone and remove me from your email list? I am so sick and tired of people hassling me. To be honest, I've only heard of that message happening maybe a handful of times ever. And I work with clients that sign like 30 coaches a month, guys. They send out a lot of messages. And way more often than not, people are so thankful for it. But we're too afraid. When it comes down to it, I'm just going to be honest. Most of us don't reach out to people. Most of us aren't making a difference in the world, not because we don't have the tools, not because we don't have what it takes, but because we're thinking more about ourselves than we are other people. You're caring more about what it will feel like to you if you get rejected, what it will feel like to you if someone thinks you're salesy. And when you should be thinking about what does it feel like to be them, stuck on the couch, missing out on their family's life. And I have everything they need, and I'm just chilling right here on it, doing absolutely nothing with it. Or maybe reaching out to one person here, maybe posting and maybe hoping that they'll come to me. How many of you, when you have problems, go seek out help? I always say this, if the world sought out help when they needed it, there'd be no such thing as crime. There'd be no such thing as horrible things like rape. There'd be no such thing as bad. Because every time we needed help, we would go get it, right? The world doesn't go get help when they need it. Instead, our natural human reaction is actually to hide away and to seclude ourselves. And that's why we have the mission of seeking others out and offering them help. You've got to stop thinking of it as pestering people, as bugging people, as anything negative, and think of it as this. I am on a mission to change the world one person at a time. I heard a story of a grandpa and his grandson walking on the beach, and there's starfish all over the place. And as they walk along, every once in a while, the grandpa will kneel down, grab a starfish, throw it into the ocean. Just every once in a while. And finally, the grandson says this, there's starfish everywhere. You're not going to make a difference. And he says, it may not seem like it to you, but to that one starfish, it was all the difference in the world. See, we've got the opportunity to literally change someone's world. Please, please, please embrace that. Take your mission out. If you have a personal mission statement, I strongly encourage everyone to have a personal mission statement. If you don't, grab onto the team's mission statement and pull that thing out and live by it. My mission simply says this: I want to equip and empower people to live out their legacy. My first year in business, it's crazy to think it was literally just a little over a year ago. My first year in business, I signed a total of 2 clients. 2 clients in 12 years. It's pretty bad, guys. Okay? That's like hitting SC4 for an entire year. Okay? But I didn't stop adding value to people. I didn't stop seeking people out because I knew I had something on the inside of me. And if I could just get someone else to get that, it would change their life forever. And so I bought too many coffees for people, took people out for breakfast, took people out for dinner. I wouldn't stop. When I realized that no one in the state of Oklahoma wanted to work with me, I got on the internet and I messaged people. And here's the thing. Sometimes I felt really salesy and I felt really scammy because the way I built my business was offering people 1 free call. I would message them, hey, would love to give you 1 free call to talk about your goals, see if there's anything I can help you with. And of course, every once in a while, people would be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That is so nice of you, Josh. Well, on the inside, I felt bad because I'm like, don't be too thankful. I only offered it so I can make a sale, right? But here's the thing. I can't tell you how many times I got on the phone with someone, walked them through a situation that they'd been struggling with. And at the end of the call, they said, Josh, thank you so much for giving your time to me. I have literally been praying for someone to come along and help me through that situation. I had lost all hope. I had no idea what I was going to do. And in 1 hour, you literally helped me walk through that. And I feel such a peace and such a relief about that part of my life. Do you know how good that feels? Here's the thing. Anytime you step out of your comfort zone to help people, it's gonna feel scammy. It's gonna feel awkward. It's gonna feel wrong. But when you have a mission that you're about, you stop thinking and worrying about what you feel like because you're so focused on what other people are going through. Never, ever, ever think that you can't make a difference in the world. Every single one of you has a very specific story that only you can tell. Every single one of you are connected to people that none of us ever will be. And the only way those people's lives will be changed is if you decide to live out your mission. If you decide to get out of your comfort zone, do things that you've never done before. It's not that complicated. I love what Carly Del Carlo says. It's not easy, but it is simple. Do your 3 vital behaviors every day, and I swear you'll have success. But most people are avoiding one of the vitals, and I like to say, in particular, invite, because they're not living out their mission. They're not being authentic and genuine to who they really are, because who they really are wants to make a difference in the world. Who they really are has no ego, has no fear, has no worry. Who they really are, your authentic, genuine self, believes in yourself and believes in others. But it's like Carl Deichler said when I spoke down in Orange County at Super Saturday, if we stopped and listened to our heart is always saying go. It's our head that's always trying to scare us out of it. Our heart is always ready to go, to help, to find, to friend, to make a difference in the world. It's our head that's always trying to talk us out of it. So I want to challenge you, every single one on this call and everyone listening to the recording. If you don't already, write down a mission statement. Come up with something that you want your life to stand for. John Maxwell says it this way. I love this. When you die, every single one of us will get a little headstone with one sentence on it. What do you want that one sentence to say? I don't know about you, but I don't want to live 80 or 90 years or maybe 120 since I drink Shakeology. I don't want to die in my entire life to be summed up like this. Josh was a very nice person. What? No. I don't want my life to stand for I'm a nice person. I want something to be said of me that I made an impact in the world while I was here, that I equipped and I empowered people to live out their legacy. I want to know that every person that came in contact with me was better prepared to live out their best life because they knew me. Now, I want you to write something down. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just needs to be one sentence that you want to stand for. And I would encourage you to say that mission every single morning when you wake up, to remind yourself as you go throughout the day that that's the difference that you're going to make. And I also want to encourage you to say it before you go to bed, because sometimes we get very disappointed by the numbers we don't hit. In that first year in business, when I sucked so bad, before I would go to bed every single night, I would ask myself this: did I equip and empower people to live out their legacy? And if the answer was yes, I didn't worry about what my bank account said. I didn't worry about how many sales I didn't make. I put a smile on my face and went to bed and knew that at least I served my purpose. And I 1,000,000% believed if I would live by my mission every single day, that eventually I would find the people that did want my help. Eventually I would find the people that did believe in what I had to offer. And because I stayed true to my mission and stayed true to what I believed in, eventually there came a time where I did find those people. When I signed with Brittany, or when Brittany signed with me, I spoke for her team call, offered free calls to everyone on her team. Little did I know 30 people would take me up on that offer. But it's okay, because I gained 15 clients in 2 months. 2 or 3 months later, I was introduced to Sarah Try. For those of you who don't know her, she's a 10-star, 3-time elite coach. She's got 104 diamonds in her downline. I met Sarah Try, and it was like, I don't know, just something magical happened. We've become incredible friends ever since. I just spent the weekend with her at her team retreat speaking for that. And I spoke on her team call. Within a few more weeks, I had another like 7 to 10 clients. Basically, in my first year, I signed 2 clients. In my second year, by month 9, I'd quit my full-time job, more than doubled my income. And now I literally wake up every single day and hang out with awesome people for a living. That's what I do. Why? Because I believed in my mission. I did not put aside numbers. I set big number goals. I'm talking, I pushed for such huge number goals. There were times when I would come home from my full-time job and I would be on the phone all night long. I would stop for 10 minutes to eat some dinner and then go back at it, because I had huge number goals, but I made sure the mission was the way I achieved those numbers. Once again, it's not one or the other. It's the two together. And when the two come together, you become an unstoppable force. And like I talked about this weekend at Sarah's retreat, when you live by your mission, not only does it fulfill you, but it also sustains you. Because too many people in this business give up because the numbers don't happen. And I don't know how many of you have heard this quote before, but it's one of my favorites. You've got to find something you love so much you would do it for free. And then get so good at it, people will pay you to do it. If you have truly found something that you love and you are passionate about, there is no reason in the world you should quit because you don't make enough money. When you find something you love that much, you do it for free. But then you become so good at it that guess what? everyone's willing to pay you money to do it with you. If you aren't willing to do this for free, honestly, you probably shouldn't be here. But I would bet every single one of you, when you first signed up as a coach, said something like this: if I could just inspire one other person to change their life, it would all be worth it. I bet every single one of you said something like that. And then 3 months later, you were thinking about quitting because only 5 people had wanted to change their life. Am I right? Some of you on this call, some of you watching this recording have been considering quitting. You've got 1 foot in, you've got 1 foot out. And I want to ask you this: have you changed someone's life? If you have, then the hard work and the effort you've put in has already been worth it, and everything that comes in the future is just a bonus. And you will get many, many, many more bonuses, I promise you. It will be worth it. When you live out what you believe in, it is always in the end worth the sacrifices that you made. It's always worth the pain. It's always worth the late nights, the early mornings, the missed lunch breaks, kids throwing up on you while you're trying to answer messages, how uncomfortable it is to reach out to new people. You're constantly being stretched because you're constantly growing. Autumn said this in one of the hammer and chisel workouts: if it ain't hurting, it ain't working. You got to remember that in your business. It hurts. Some of you are hurting really bad right now. And I have this to say to you: good. Because if it weren't hurting, I'd be really scared for you, because that would mean you are not growing and you're not making a difference in the world. You want to make a difference in the world? It hurts. Martin Luther King Jr., he got hurt a lot. Every single person that ever made a difference in the world we live in went through a lot of pain and a lot of mess. If your life feels like a mess right now, good, you're on the right track. Keep moving. You never stop having messes, but I promise you, if you keep moving forward, you finally get to the point where you start having success and the messes don't feel like a big deal anymore. Because you finally have got to a point where you're helping enough people, it's paying you back the rewards. The compound effect has finally come into full effect for you. And it's like you're riding on this cloud where nothing can hurt you, nothing can stop you, nothing can hold you back. And so many of you are this close if you just keep moving forward and do the things that Deborah and Jennifer give you to do. Don't question it. Don't question the process. Don't say, well, it works for them because they have this or they have that or they have that. No. It works for them because they do it. That's it. That's it. Like, I wish it were more complicated than that. I wish I could give you a magic formula. It works for them because they do it. If it's not working for you, number one, you're not doing it. Or number two, you just haven't done it long enough. That's it. That's it, guys. For a whole year, I signed 2 clients. I sucked, okay? But guess what? I kept doing it. And eventually it happens. My business is not a Beachbody business, but I promise you it's built on the same principles. The compound effect. You just keep doing the right things over and over and over and over and over and over. Eventually you will have success. It is a law of the planet. What you sow, you will reap. It has to happen. It has to. So keep moving forward. Don't give up. Please, please, please live your mission. Change the world. Thank you guys so much for letting me speak tonight. I'm had a great time with you guys. Would love for anyone that would be interested in one of those training groups that Deborah talked about at the beginning. You can go to joshuacoates.com. You can check those out. You can also get my free book that I wrote called The Mess Before Success, where I talk about kind of my own personal journey of how rough life was before I made it to success. Hopefully to inspire you to push through the mess that's in your life. My training groups range from $49 to $200. They're basically for wherever you're stuck at in your Beachbody business. I know everyone gets stuck at one of 3 spots. Either you can't seem to find your daily momentum, which I have clarity and focus for, or you hit Success Club but can't seem to recruit people, which I have the art of recruiting for, or you've already recruited a big team and you can't figure out how the heck to get anyone else motivated, and on board, I have a group called The Art of Leading. So any of those groups that you have, I've got some groups that literally launch next Monday. If you want to sign up for, you can go to joshuacoates.com. You can hit me up on Facebook if you have any questions about them. I'm more than happy to answer questions. And actually, I request, please come find me on Facebook. Shoot me a friend request and say hi. Let me know you're on the call. I'd love to get to know you. I've got a few minutes for Q&A. Deborah, if you want to open it up for that, that's up to you. I don't know what kind of time limit you're on.
No, we're totally good. Thank you so much. It's so
Of course.
I didn't know exactly how you were going to go with this. I didn't listen to anybody else's call, so I wanted to hear the information fresh. But, it really reminds me of, I'm a rhino, and what you said is, I used to say that. I used to talk about, the fact that we, it doesn't matter, the people that we don't help. It matters the ones that we do. And that, we're doing people a disservice if we don't reach out to them. Yeah. And I just realized I'm not saying that. I'm not sharing that message enough anymore. Yeah. And I think that's that rhino in me. I know it in my head. And so I'm going for those, come on, let's go. And that's a really great point. If anybody has any questions, go ahead and unmute yourself or type it in the chat real quick. And if not, then we'll let Josh get back to his family tonight. Where do you live, Josh? Are you on the West Coast?
I actually live in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, you're Midwest.
I am Midwest. There's no other Beachbody coaches within like 5,000 miles.
Are you serious? Well,
not really. But I feel like everyone I talk to is either on the East Coast or the West Coast.
Yeah. Well, I'm in Kansas City, so we're almost.
Oh, okay. Way cool. I grew up in Wichita, Kansas.
Did you really? Well, we have a Super Saturday that would love to have you come sometime.
In Kansas City?
Yes.
I'd love to come. I think I'm going to Philly in October.
Okay.
But maybe next year I could come to Kansas City. That'd be great. I love Kansas City.
Definitely. Hey, Jen, did you have anything you wanted to add?
I just want to say thank you so much. I'm a rhino/owl. Okay. Usually I'm going for it full speed, and then I got to, stop and do all my research and organize myself. So I definitely am a 50-50 there. I'm so glad that you're on the call tonight. I took like 5 pages of notes, and I've been a coach for 6 years now. And I have a somewhat of a similar story to your wife, just a little bit different. But I feel like there's so many moms out there when you are going through the list of, descriptions of people that are just dying for help, dying for it. Yeah. And I had an aha moment in Beachbody years ago when, I was told from my mentors never to just prejudge anybody, don't shy away from sending any sort of invite to people, because you can't put that, that judgment around them that they wouldn't need our help. Right. Because you don't know what's going on really behind closed doors, Right. And so I had the aha moment several years ago, and that really just helped me move forward with inviting without fear, because really it's a big fear that people have, and holds them back so much. But thank you so much for all your wisdom. Course. Nuggets and so much great information on the call. I will just go listen to it again too.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't see any more questions. We have kind of a shy group here, I think.
That's okay. Hey, I'm used to Beachbody coaches. I know there's always a lot of golden retrievers. Yeah. Everyone kind of chill. Like I'll probably get 20 messages later of people that are like, oh my gosh, thank you. I wanted to ask you on the call, but I was too afraid. That's totally cool. I totally get it. Just thank you guys all for being on tonight and taking the time to invest in yourself, because this is where it's at, guys. I'm telling you want to grow your business, get on team calls. Like that's just it. Like get on team calls, and I swear it will have a huge impact on your business. You've got to surround yourself with people that are smarter and better than you. And I don't mean that in like a human better, but better in business. You have to. So anyways, that was a little side nugget, but I get a little excited if you don't tell.
Well, thank you. I'm excited too. You totally have like relit a fire in me that just like, not that the fire was dead, but it just really excited me. So this is what we do. I mean, you know, getting on calls like this. You're never too far up in the whatever to get excited and hear things in a different way. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Everybody's going to look you up on Facebook. So
Sounds good.
get ready. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Night, guys.
Good night.